Okay, you won't believe what's going down behind the gates of Meghan and Harry's ultra-glam Montecito estate. It's not just a little staff reshuffle, it's a full-blown exodus. The black SUVs didn't just roll out, they disappeared like ghosts. No statements, no posts, no drawn-out goodbyes. Just a quiet one-by-one disappearance. First, the comms director vanished. Then the chef, gone. Someone from Meghan's much-hyped brand innovation team, out. And then, the final blow, the nanny. Yep, the nanny leaving apparently pushed Meghan into absolute meltdown mode.
But they can't make money off the royal family.
She sold Harry such a lie when she married him. She pretended to be this human rights activist. She pretended to be this hugely successful actress.
Meghan hasn't chosen to ditch private jet flights. She simply can't afford it at the moment, can she? She doesn't have enough mugs who are prepared to waste all that money.
All of which suggests that Meghan's scam jam shop, as ever, is not pulling in the cash.
He was after William first, apparently, before he got married.
Well, let's not act like that whole trip to England wasn't to actually find a British husband.
She married for money. It's very clear she bagged the elephant. She was thrilled. She became a, quote, princess.
This woman is a born manipulator.
And that morning, it was a scene. Meghan was reportedly jumping from one panicked phone call to the next. Her financial consultant, then the lawyer, then the brand manager. Bam, bam, bam. Her voice, total panic. Why? Word is she saw a spreadsheet she wasn't meant to see. And what did it say? That their liquid reserves were dipping dangerously low. Not rock bottom yet, but teetering on the edge of instability. The kind of number that makes you go, time to sell something or fire people. And yep, within 24 hours, she did both.
They're already living a billionaire's lifestyle, let's just be honest about it. And they are not anywhere close to earning billionaire money.
The cool, poised image she tried so hard to build, gone. Poof. Replaced by panic and a mad dash behind the scenes to stop the bleeding before the tabloids caught a whiff. But it was already out. Page 6 got the scoop. Another 6 employees? Let go. The PR spin said it was amicable, but come on. People weren't buying it, especially when the math didn't lie. Over 25 staff members allegedly quit or were let go since they made the move to the US. 25! That's not normal. That's an evacuation. And get this, it wasn't random. Several of those exits happened right after Meghan rolled out her As Ever brand. You remember those overpriced jars of jam, bundles of dried flowers, and that bizarrely thin rose that was supposed to scream California royalty. But the truth? The products flopped. The packaging might have been Instagram perfect, but the sales, not so much.
As Meghan Markle's financial woes become alarmingly clear, it emerges that it wasn't only Queen Elizabeth who cottoned on to the American actress's elaborate plan to snare Prince Harry.
Insiders are whispering that the product return rate was way higher than expected and profit margins unsustainable. So while Meghan was busy captioning her product photos with poetic lines about simple joys and elevated flavor profiles, her CFO, yes she, reportedly hired one, was quietly waving red flags about the ballooning expenses, especially payroll. And when those pink slips started piling up, it wasn't just assistants and junior staff. A senior advisor reportedly quit. Why? They warned Meghan and Harry that their spending was way out of control. Even with Harry's royal inheritance and their still activity Netflix contract, the money coming in wasn't keeping up. That's when the nanny left. Some say it was over a late paycheck. Others whisper that she might have seen something like financial statements just sitting out on the kitchen counter. Whatever the reason, her exit set off alarm bells. Because as one Hollywood insider bluntly put it, when the nanny walks out, it's not just personal, it's structural. And Meghan? According to a former staffer, she went into shutdown, canceled meetings, skipped Zoom calls, handed off everything she could while trying to spin the disaster. But there's only so much spinning you can do when former staffers are already leaking to the press and moving trucks are allegedly seen idling outside the estate. But that was just the beginning.
Right from the outset, William, we're told, saw right through Meghan and swiftly concluded that she had not the slightest intention of staying in the royal family for long.
Before the jam, before the Netflix documentaries, before the lawsuits and the lifestyle brand, there was a quiet moment at Windsor Castle. This only now starting to make sense. Apparently, Queen Elizabeth once looked a close confidant in the eye and said, "We hope, but we do not believe they're truly in love." Let that sink in. That wasn't a flippant comment. That was a coded royal red flag. The Queen's instincts, razor sharp. And turns out they were spot on. From the very start, she had doubts. Not because Meghan's American or from Hollywood, but because she sensed something transactional in Meghan's gaze. Something calculated.
At the end of the day, the reality is she was a suitcase girl who got a D-list kind of job on Suits, which wasn't even a very successful cable show. And the fact is, Hollywood is competitive. If she couldn't crack that, she definitely can't crack any other market.
Some say that was the first time Harry ever raised his voice at William. Meghan may have overheard, but whatever happened in that moment, something shifted. The brothers stopped being brothers. They became opponents. And now, with staff walking out, the Montecito brand empire crumbling, and whispers flying from all corners of the press, those early warnings from the Queen and William are being re-examined with brutal clarity. What the Queen suspected, that Meghan saw Harry as a gateway, not a partner, is now an open topic of gossip at Hollywood cocktail parties, in British press rooms, everywhere. Even Harry's wedding tiara drama is being dragged back up. Remember? Meghan reportedly wanted one royal tiara, but the Queen offered another. And when Meghan pushed back, Elizabeth didn't cave. In fact, insiders say she muttered to her dresser, "That girl thinks she's running the firm." And it got worse. Rumor has it, Meghan had already lined up branding deals and business ideas before she even walked down the aisle. Domain names, product ideas, stuff that screamed exit strategy. The Queen found out. Her tone with Harry reportedly went cold, formal. She didn't back him when he begged for support to move to California. And here's the shocker. Sources say the Queen wrote her final judgment down. A sealed letter, locked away. If William ever decides to share it, game over. And guess what he did next?
They're just whining millennial windbags with a permanent victim complex, knowing that victimhood is what makes them all the money.
What came next wasn't some grand confrontation. It was supposed to be a chill brother-to-brother, heart-to-heart at Kensington Palace. Just Harry and William. No aides, no PR filters. But according to insiders, it turned into the moment that split the monarchy clean in two. William didn't show up with accusations. He came with concern, real brotherly worry. He gently told Harry he was moving too fast. That Meghan, someone who thrived in front of the camera, who once blogged about manifesting a lifestyle, might not be the best fit for royal life. He reminded him of the tradition, the duty, the shadow they both grew up in under the palace's iron rules. The shared charity plans scrapped. Their once friendly double dates with Kate and William, ice cold. Even during public appearances, people noticed the warm glances, the inside jokes, the brotherly banter, gone. Just two princes orbiting each other like frosty strangers. And yet, William didn't totally give up.
That is not hard work. Hard work is get up in the morning, get to 7 o'clock, get into a factory or a shop and working for 10 hours on your feet, coming home knackered. That's not what happens to her.
And still being a mom.
That is
still
not
being
what
a
happens.
mom.
Months later, when word started circulating that Harry and Meghan were having second thoughts about royal life, William tried again. He sent a quiet message through a trusted aide, a soft offer to reconnect, no strings, just to talk. But Harry never responded. Some say he wasn't allowed to. Others believe he was already in too deep, too committed to their narrative, too proud to turn back. And just like that, another bridge burned. When Queen Elizabeth passed, their interaction at the funeral said it all. Cold nods, tight smiles, seconds-long conversations, no warmth, no reconciliation, nothing real. And now, a source close to William says the chance of rebuilding that bond is less than zero. Not just because of the past, but because of everything unraveling right now. The financial panic, the failing brand, the swirling headlines. William's watching it all quietly, because in his mind, this collapse was always going to happen. But even he couldn't have guessed what Harry did next. Their Montecito mansion was supposed to be their dream escape, their safe haven, their palace of peace. But now, it's starting to feel like a cash-draining trap. Sure, it's dreamy on the outside. 9 bedrooms, gourmet kitchens, a gym, guest houses, chicken coops, curated for Instagram. But the cost to maintain all that? Absolutely staggering. And unlike the British palaces, this place doesn't come with a taxpayer-funded staff. No royal perks. Every gardener, every pool technician, every housekeeper, dog walker, chef, they pay out of pocket. Every leak, every avocado tree that needs hand watering, every bill lands on their desk. And Meghan, she's over it. She's reportedly been seething behind the scenes, furious that their overhead is ballooning, but the income not keeping up, not even close. Then came the bombshell.
When worried Wills made his feelings clear to besotted Harry, the bitter brothers-at-war feud began.
They allegedly tried to refinance the mansion. Yep, sources claim Meghan and Harry inquired about restructuring their debts, but were met with hesitancy from lenders. Why? Unstable revenue streams. Translation: they're living like Silicon Valley billionaires, but earning like part-time influencers. And then we circle back to Meghan's big-as-ever comeback. The whimsical jam, the dried flower bundles, the rose she named Chateau Med. It all started off with a polished splash, a pastel fever dream. But behind the scenes, a mess. Executives were expecting follow-ups, more access, new ideas. What did they get? Vague concepts, half-baked pitches, a kids show, a nature doc, a drama loosely based on Meghan's life. Netflix wasn't having it. One exec even joked, "We're a production company, not the Meghan Markle fan club." Even worse, there were rumors of performance benchmarks in the contract, meaning if they didn't deliver X content by Y date, Netflix could slash their payout. And guess what? That deadline might be creeping up fast. So what does Meghan do? She pivots. Again, insiders say she pitched a new idea, a lifestyle competition show. Think Shark Tank meets Goop. Non-celebs competing for wellness funding. But execs were lukewarm. Some said it lacked focus. Others, that it clashed with her Duchess image. And Harry? He's off trying to develop his own sustainability project, but sources say it's aimless, no hook, no clear plan. It's like they want to say something, one exec side, but they have no idea what. And then came Harry's bombshell idea, the one that allegedly left Meghan fuming.
Royal author Phil Dampier said, Meghan saw marrying Harry as a stepping stone to new fame and fortune, and I think that's what initially Prince William was concerned about, and that's why they fell out.
Picture this. Harry storms into their home office, protein shake in one hand, scribbled papers in the other. "I've cracked it," he declares. His big idea? An eco-tech app, a social tool for tracking carbon footprints, planting trees, encouraging sustainable habits. Noble? Sure. But practical? Hey, has zero tech experience, no dev team, no business model. According to one former contact, it was like watching someone pitch a TED Talk after reading a single Wired article. Yikes. But then she went and trademarked a new phrase tied to her title. And that ignited instant backlash and dragged her as ever brand into a whole new round of humiliation.
People at high levels who have worked for Bill Gates, Patagonia, all these sorts of things. And yet none of them have been successful. The common denominator in everything here is Harry and Meghan.
Enter Scam Jam. Yeah, that's what the internet's calling it. When Meghan launched as ever, the brand had all the vibes. Soft, light photos, delicate fonts, moody captions about joy and intention. It was her Gwyneth Paltrow moment, or so she thought. But the moment that jam landed on doorsteps, customers were livid. First, it was the texture. Bloggers called it watery. One reviewer said it felt like melted cough syrup. Another? There's not enough fruit in here to call it jam. And they were right. Legally, it had to be labeled a fruit spread. That's when it got brutal. Hashtags exploded, hashtag side-by-side pics of Meghan's $30 0-cent jar next to $3 0-cent grocery store jam. And guess what? A cheap one had more fruit. Then came the surprise shipping fees, broken jars, no refund system. People were furious. Just when her team thought the storm might die down, came the rose. Chateau Meg. Marketed as sunshine in a bottle, elegant, feminine, chic. But reviewers said it tasted like sadness, metallic, flat. One critic said it was like a bottle that sat next to a good wine, but never touched greatness. And the worst part? The wine wasn't even hers. It was a private label rebrand. Meghan slapped her name on someone else's wine, marked up the price, and hoped no one would notice. But they noticed. Internal panic set in. Meghan's team reportedly scrambled, offering influencers tasting kits in exchange for positive posts. Most declined. One food blogger even said, "I'm not selling lies for jam." Critics tore into the aesthetic too. Dead flower bundles, recycled jars, Pinterest vibes with a royal price tag. Overpriced Etsy shop, one fan turned critic snapped. And Meghan reportedly still refuses to admit defeat. But behind closed doors, she's calling in backup. And it's someone big. Not just any fixer. the fixer. The one Hollywood elites call when their brands are bleeding and their reputations are circling the drain. And Meghan, she called quietly, desperately, because even the A-list support system she once leaned on is starting to vanish. Let's talk about the shift, because it's real and brutal. For years, Meghan floated through Hollywood as the untouchable royal in exile. She dined with billionaires, but traded texts with media titans. She had access. She had Oprah. Executives reviewing her brand pitches are taking longer to reply. Long pauses, quiet background checks. One even said, "We'll wait and see how this plays out. No one wants to be the next casualty." And then came the most telling moment of all.
The thing is, you're so right though, it was very obvious, because you don't come into something like the royal family and start with a bunch of lies saying, "I don't even know who you guys are. I didn't even Google Harry on the way to the date." Come on, Meghan, give me a break. Of course she did.
A local barista in Santa Barbara spotted Harry just last week. Alone, baseball cap pulled low, phone glued to his ear, pacing, agitated. And then he froze for a full minute, just standing there, completely still. Whatever that call was about, it hit hard, because that same night, royal insiders started whispering about what they now call the Montecito meltdown. What was the plan? Was there even a plan, or did Meghan think the royal glow would last forever? Drop your thoughts below. Like, subscribe, and trust me, you'll want to see what's coming next.